today? Thanks, guys, for helping us.
Yeah, of course. No problem.
Okay, so let me introduce. So we're doing this travel project at Stanford University. It's basically called TripMint. That's our startup name. Basically, the main idea is to have a simplified, intuitive travel search. So when you go to any travel city like Los Angeles or New York, anywhere, on the moment, if you want to search something with just 3 simple things: what is your interest, what is the time you have, and what is the cost, and it will tell you all these trip recommendations. Then it will give you the actual custom trip for you. And in the trip, you can search any transportation, any route you want to make optimization of that. So the first question is, suppose you're visiting Paris for the first time, like for a 4-day trip. How would you plan your day-to-day itinerary in Paris?
If I were to actually go
Right now?
Yeah. Let's say you're in Paris.
Well, I've never been.
I have
Neither seen. I would want to be, know exactly where I'm going to be staying. I mean, just how in detail.
like, so we're already there, like, okay, we're here for 10 days, we're staying at this hotel, the Intercontinental.
I would actually want to have, like, amenities pretty much planned out already, obviously.
Spa days.
Spa days.
All the restaurants I'll be
As
eating
far
at.
as specific tours and details of activities, I don't really like to pre-plan things like that on vacation, unless it's something very specific, like going to the Louvre.
There's a
or
concert
something.
we're going to be at
Yeah.
Thursday night.
But other than that, it would be more kind of fly by the seat of my pants type of situation.
Yeah.
An overall plan of I'll be out here on this day and we're leaving this day at this time. But
We're very like, wake up, let's have coffee, we'll relax,
Let's take
write
it-
a little bit, go out,
yeah, so
find a
having
spot for lunch.
an app like that would be like, you know what, I heard, like, I was down having coffee and so told me about this, let's check it out. That'd be very helpful.
So you, as you said, you just woke up in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, let's see what your interest. Let's say art.
Right.
And it pulls out all the artistic itinerary based on your budget and the time. Let's say you have
So
2
we
hours.
say, let's say we have 2 hours, we have $200, we want to have lunch, we
great.
want to go to a museum.
Especially
Exactly.
if you're
And
like,
That's what I want to do.
we recommend.
Yeah.
We provide recommendations as a recommendation engine searches. So will you use that service if any such service exists? Will you use it?
Yeah.
no,
Well, how much would it cost?
But see, that's what it does.
It's a free app.
Oh, yeah.
As most are, aren't they?
I've paid for a few apps.
Well, then,
Star Wars Angry Birds, $1.99.
And the second question is,
is that helpful? The
yes,
first
yes,
question?
very much, yes.
Did we answer that?
Yes. So what are the key challenges you have faced while checking for local information while planning your trips? Once you reach the city while you're making your trips, what is the most challenging things you faced in your past travel or anything like that? Is it too much of information where you don't have right resources to...
It's usually, it depends. Nowadays, I haven't really traveled that much, but back in the day when we would travel before internet.
I did a lot of traveling this year.
Patrick did do a lot of traveling this year.
So what is the biggest challenge you
50,
faced?
60 days on the road this year so far. Like knowing where to go, like I don't know, finding hotels because I would a road trip.
Something,
Yeah,
but that's
so I would
not
sit there
reliable.
Google. I'd pull over and I'd be googling and stuff. Like, okay, I was like in Amarillo, Texas, and I just driven there from Arizona. So I've been driving a whole day and I was tired and I had no immediate plans. So I was just googling, okay, hotels, Amarillo, Texas, and so it's just kind of like I had like 4 different hotel websites that would come up, and then you're trying to search those from my phone.
How
It wasn't that
close
easy
you
to do.
are to them in actuality.
Yeah. So it was actually something like this, where to say, okay, I want to spend $60. I'm in Amarillo, Texas.
Oh yeah, see that's the pricing thing would be huge
Yeah.
There's been this year several instances where I needed to look up a hotel room, but like I know my budget, and so it's more searching page after page, like, oh wait, that's too expensive, or like that's, so it's really filtering myself. I have to filter how expensive things are.
That's
You
why
can price things low to high or high
I
to
mean,
low,
you
but still you have to
can,
sift.
But there's so many, like,
Constant
especially
sifting.
going through like Expedia or Kayak or stuff like that. So having something just automatically, here's your first top choices in this immediate area, that's $60 to $150. Perfect.
I mean,
That would be very helpful.
yes, we're not targeting hotels and airline search. This is like within the city. Once you go there, like local information, like what you can do, what is
Is it more
interesting.
activity based?
Yes, it's more activity based. Let us take you're on Eiffel Tower. You don't know where to go next. You say from Eiffel Tower, I have like 3 hours, $120 budget. What is? Give me the recommendation. What's around? That's
That'd
what
be
we
very
pretty much
cool.
do.
I mean, that works too.
I mean, when I was on the road several nights, I'm like, I'd like to go do something, but I have no idea what there is to do. So it's like nightlife, you know,
And there's say your
Marble
interest.
Falls, Texas.
Exactly. There's a coolest event happening around the place. You don't know what that is. Isn't it helpful? Hey, give me events. What are the coolest events happening in Paris right now? We just pull up all the events. Hey, we'll tell you this is how you go there. This is the
So
price
is
point.
it be like events too that are
Everything
happening?
once within the city.
So it's all very up to
Beds,
date.
restaurants,
It's like
museums,
day
movie
of.
theaters,
Right.
everything.
That's the thing too. It's like you can look up something on Google, but you don't know how reliable and how recent sometimes. I mean,
This
generally
is
it's more
on the
recent.
go. It's more recent,
But
which
see,
is
that's
happening
a
around.
big thing is the time.
That's
frame.
huge.
Because I've looked up things where it's like, oh, that was last weekend. Now it's like, why did that come
It's like,
up?
why are these 2009 dates coming up?
I know. I feel like that happens a lot.
I think that's one of our value proposition to make it more accurate data based on current at this moment in the real time.
Exactly. Real time is key when you're on the go so much.
And this other point is when you go for international travel, you won't be having any data plans. So this app has a preloaded data in the real time. Like let's say when you're leaving the hotel, you have a Wi-Fi, it preloads the data. The thing, so when there's no signal, no data plan, you can still search on the phone.
That's cool.
So it works both online and
That,
offline.
yeah, I didn't even think about that situation
Yeah.
because I don't travel internationally. But I mean, that would be like, well, my phone's roaming. Wait a second.
Even when even if some places have a very bad signal reception, like sometimes you have a plan. Let us take you went to New York. You have a plan, but you don't have signal reception. But still, you want to search it. And there's so many times I had the problem.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Will you
hard,
use such a
especially when you're like
service?
driving in the middle of nowhere and you.
Will you use
I've had
such
to
service?
stop and find a signal, because otherwise I don't know what I'm going to do.
Great.
Making
And
us better and better, aren't you?
yeah. And the next question is just two more questions.
Okay.
If you're given a choice to use a mobile app, which is a real-time, customized, and easy-to-use trip, based on your preferences, time, and budget, would you be interested in such an option?
It's a trick question. Of course, I'd be
Trick
interested.
question. Mobile app versus what are my other options? Like
The
going to a
yellow
website?
pages.
No, you
Finding
have,
a yellow page book?
yes, mobile
Well,
app,
no, mobile app all the
No,
way.
absolutely. That's
web application.
accessible, and especially if it's customized, you said, to your
It's very
your
specific to your
search and,
needs.
and what your area and everything. That's
No, I'd much
a
prefer
huge
just to have an app that I can click on that
tool to
keeps
have.
track of my preferences too. Does it do that? Does it have
Yes.
preferences? So
Yes.
it's like, oh, Patrick always pulls up movie theaters.
Right.
So let's show him the closest movie theater and what's playing.
Yes,
'Cause
it's
I do
actually
do that.
yes, because you build a profile when you log into the app. It asks what is your taste, what is your recommendations, like what kind of food you like, what is your primary activity. No matter where you go, it always has builds the recommendations based on your interest. Plus, at any time you can have. Sometimes you want to do things differently.
Yeah, I was just saying it's easy to update too.
Right. So it also recommends you on the real time beyond your interest within your.
That sounds very cool. I would definitely use it.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
the last question is, if there is a mobile app or service, would you be willing to pay for such service? How much you're willing to pay, like $1.99 or $2.99, or
Or
will you value that service?
The apps, I'm not that versed in apps, but it's more of a one-time download price for most apps.
Right, as long as I wasn't continually paying. I mean, like for certain apps that I know, okay.
It's not
especially
a
if
monthly
gonna be
subscription.
traveling.
It's just like a one time.
No,
The most I've ever paid, and like anything beyond that of an app, I just completely won't pay it. But like $9.99 is the most I've ever paid for an app. But I prefer, like, I will have less hesitation over like a $4.99 app. It's like, okay, $4.99 for this service, I can do that.
especially if you're on the go a lot. And
$1.99, I don't even think about it.
no,
It's like, sure.
I think that's a very reasonable price, especially if you aren't, you're going to a foreign country. Like, oh, this is the app we're going to use.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gonna
like this
really
app is
useful.
amazing.
$2
Reading
seems-
reviews are amazing. $2.
That's something you could
$5
almost pay.
I would spend.
Yeah, $5 to $10 for it if you know in advance you're going to
Yeah.
a place you've never been, and you know it's very reliable. It'd be worth it. It's better than buying like a tour guide book.
Right.
No
It's a new
reading.
Frommers. It's a new Frommers.
Right. So,
Books are old news. I'm kidding.
so thanks a lot. That's all I have. So
I hope it was helpful.
we want to connect you once we launch. We're looking for early